Yo, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connell Cardenas. Before we get into it today, I just want to give a huge shout out to the title sponsors of Caffeine and Green, which are Thorn Street Brewery and Seven Seas Roasting, coming straight out of San Diego, California. And Seven Seas Roasting is actually my home roaster. It's where you find me probably like about 5 days out of the week, or pretty much during the week is where you can find me there. And what's great about having them as a sponsor is that they actually give us a code. So as a listener of the podcast, you're going to go ahead and use code CANDG at checkout, and you're going to be able to get 3 bags of coffee for $30. Now, that's a no-brainer if you really come to think about it, because 2 bags of coffee is $32, so you're getting a bag of coffee for free. Now, we do have some coffees, new coffees. We have the decaf, and we also have the espresso blend, the non-Kali, and then the El Jaguar, which is a customer favorite around here these days. And unfortunately, you are not able to get the Spikes Roast with this deal, but every other coffee that I just mentioned is totally part of this deal. So go ahead, head over to 7seasroasting.com, get 3 bags of coffee, input my code CANG, that's CANDG at checkout, and you're going to get that deal. My guest today is the owner of Tired Eyes Coffee. I'm talking about none other than Tyler Herrera. That's right. My man is a straight G. He is the epitome of what a guest should be on Caffeine and Green. He is a business owner. He's a BMXer. He's killing it in the specialty coffee game. And most importantly, he's a rad individual. I had a great conversation because I knew that there's people that you meet in life and that you just click with. You get their vibe, they get your vibe, and it just works. Tyler's one of those people. Without further ado, because this conversation is just too good that you just really, honestly, you got to enjoy it, man. Tyler Herrera, Tired Eyes Coffee. This your time to shine, homies. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connell. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. And we are live.
Hell yeah.
Salute, sir.
Cheers, my man.
Yes. Boom. Might be a little flat, but it's still good.
It's chill.
Yeah.
We good. You gave me a warning, so I feel okay about it.
And if you need a little top off, I have just a little bit more in there. Thank you. The Thorn with the Baja California beer. It's amazing. Lager. But Tyler, welcome to Caffeine and Green, sir.
Thank you, man.
We're going to get right into it. Tyler, you own Tired Eyes Coffee.
Correct. Yeah.
In downtown San Diego?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude. And just a couple weeks ago, I've been making it a plan that on Sundays, we were talking about this before the podcast, that, on our days off, it's important to at least one day not be at the shop.
Yep. Yeah.
Get out, go talk to other people, whatever, but also just for your own sanity. Even that you're still working, obviously, and it's in the back of your mind, but it's like, hey, one day not at the shop should be good.
Yeah. It's a game changer.
It really is.
Yeah.
And on one of my days like that one, I cruised down to your spot. I walked in. You already knew my name.
I did.
You were like, Kono, right? I was like, I actually know who you are. And I don't know who you are, but Tyler, right? Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, cool. And then we started vibing.
Yeah.
And that led to tonight. So I, again, welcome. And I'm super excited you're here.
Thank you, man.
That being said, I want to get right into how you started Tired Eyes, because that story you told me at the shop, and it was so, dude, it was motivational and inspirational.
That's awesome.
So tell me a little bit about it.
So let's see. I started Tired Eyes. It's consumed my life for the last 3 years. So there's a lot of phases of it. I would say 2016 started planning. 2017, I started teaching myself how to roast towards the end of 2017. And then 2018, I launched it as just online sales, wholesale, just roasting whole bean, Mm-hmm. But it started first with a little hot top roaster in my living room, just a little electric roaster, roasting 1/2 pound batches, just figuring out what the fuck is roasting?
That's sick. Yeah.
I was already working in coffee, but I just could not get a roasting gig for the life of me.
Yeah.
It's just so competitive, and everyone wants to roast. But anyways, after that, after realizing I wasn't going to do anything out of my living room, on a little electric roaster, I got a Mill City 1 kilo gas roaster and put it in a shed in my parents' backyard and just fucking went to town and actually got an internship with Inter-American Coffee. Yeah, that's like, that was a turning point for Tired Eyes. That's when I was like, okay, I'm going to be able to do this because I got a 5-month internship with Inter-American doing sample roasting and quality control. So that was like a game changer. That was the end of 2017, right when I bought the Mill City. So like I would be at Inter-American, we would get in there, I would cup coffees, then we would sample roast, and then I would go home and like all this information I had just taken from Inter-American, I would take back to my house.
Yeah.
You know, and then so that kind of like put me on the fast track to launching Tired Eyes. So yeah, March of 2018, I like officially like launched it, which was just opening a web store and making the brand public and then going from there, you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so crazy because the sample roaster isn't much smaller than the 1 kilo.
Yeah.
The Mill City. Now, I know they have Probat sample roasters there that you have like the spoon and you have to go in the middle, right? That way. Yeah. So Mill City is a completely different setup. I mean, it's,
absolutely. You
know, you have a lot of more air control, if you would. Yeah. So did you have trouble translating that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I hear a lot of people talking about that issue. You know, that issue as far as when they get on those little Probat BRZs, like the airflow is technically different. Like airflow on a normal drum roaster heats up the beans. You know, it sucks in hot air. The airflow on BRZs is opposite. It sucks in just ambient air, so it cools them down. So it's like, whoa. Yeah, it's kind of a mind fuck. Yeah. It's really bizarre. BRZs, you just have to be way more intuitive on them. Mill Cities, it's just like you have full fucking control, you know, and like BRZs are just a little more like, you just, like I said, you have to be more intuitive on them. But yeah, so it was definitely hard to kind of, you know, put all the pieces together. But I think the biggest thing I got from Inter-American was just cupping every day. Yeah. You know, tasting coffees way differently than I'd ever tasted coffee before. Because previously I was only thinking in like barista terms of like extraction, you know, but then at Inter-American, you're thinking about like the quality of the green. Are there any defects? Are there any roast defects? Is this coffee sweet? Is it clean? How's the acidity? You're not thinking about like, oh, this is over extracted. Let me dial back on the grinder, you know, or whatever. Yeah. You're thinking way more in terms of like the green, you know? So that's the biggest thing I got from there was like how to taste coffee better, you know?
Dude, I can only imagine. I mean, cupping at Inter-American, if for the listeners who are listening, if you've never been able to cup like that, man, it is something else. Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite things to do here in San Diego specifically. Go see Dana or Pablo, and you have just these amazing coffees from all over, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is a natural, this is a honey processed, or this is this, and this is this. And they don't even do it just in a couple cups. It's like four or five.
It's 5 at a time.
5 at a time. And there might be 8 coffees on the table, maybe 9.
Yeah. I think the record for myself, which some people would probably scoff at because I've heard crazy numbers before, but we cupped 41 different coffees in one day. Jeez. So that's the most I ever cupped, and it's like, it's fucking intense, man.
But how's your palate fatigue on that?
For me personally, I feel like I get palate fatigue pretty quickly. Yeah. Maybe because I'm just so obsessive, you know, like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just like trying to think about everything I taste to the point that I just get fucking fatigued, you know? Yeah. But they're like, they can go hard, dude. Like,
I mean, I imagine this. You're building yourself up like anything else that you would do in life. I mean, if you're a weightlifter, you're building that tolerance up essentially.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is like, you know, Dana, for example, you know, Dana's not a barista, but she can cup coffees really fucking well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like, I can cuss, right?
Of course please.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I was like, wait, this is Kano's podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
So yeah, you know, it's a completely different skill set, and it was something I'd never been exposed to before. And again, it changed the way I thought about tasting coffee. Yeah. You know, because I even feel now like I'm still a better roaster / cupper than I am a barista. Yeah. You know, like because that's just where my mind's at. I would prefer to be cupping and tasting coffees like that rather than like being on bar all day.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, you have a deeper understanding and a connection to the end product. I mean, or the beginning product, if you will, too, as a roaster.
Yeah.
You have the green bean. And I mean, have you been to Origin?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, when you get to see the actual coffee trees and you pull them off and you get to eat the cherry and taste what it tastes like and then get to see the outer mucilage and then see the whole process when you're at like a farm or whatever you're at. Well, they'll do raised air beds or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And some of them have these huge dryers that not a lot of people you never see the dryer aspect of it.
Yeah. I've seen photos of like crazy just fucking mills and like, the dryers. And I'm like, dude, it's like, it's bigger than any roastery I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it's fucking wild.
Huge.
Yeah.
And then have you seen like a sorter?
Yeah.
Dude.
The one that shakes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they had this crazy sorter when I was in Kona. And I was just like looking at it. I was like, what the It had like, it came down in like a big ass arrow almost. And then it went into like a table. Yeah. And that's like where the 17, 18, 16, 15 like screen sizes were. And I was like, I'd never understood that until I saw it in real life. And I was like, that's what that shit means.
Dude, and that's what I'm saying is like the green world, as in green coffee buying, importing, all that, is a completely separate like industry almost.
Well, it's a commodity. You're dealing with a commodity now. It's not even just a coffee shop. You're dealing in like international trade.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I mean, I think green coffee is the second biggest commodity behind gas. Like,
is it really?
Yeah.
Green coffee.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which is like, well, I mean, so coffee in general, and like, that's just fucking crazy. It's like Inter-American, they have like 28 offices worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, and that's what I'm saying. I just did not realize green is like this whole other fucking world.
Yeah.
You know, and you're talking about, an international trade. It's a crop, you know, it relies on like real legitimate farming practices. Like it's
a GDP for some of the coffees that we're drinking from all over the world, especially in specialty coffee. That's a GDP for half the African countries. Like that's what their main GDP is. So it's like, it's a bigger understanding, and on a world scale, it's like, whoa. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I'm not afraid to love coffee as much as I do, and like be just like so gung-ho about pursuing this as like my life, is because I'm like, look, this shit makes the world go round.
Yep.
You know, like people can be like, you know, like you could tell someone you roast coffee and they're like, oh, you work at a coffee shop? You know, and it's like, no, you don't fucking get it. Coffee's like, it makes the world go round in so many different ways, you know, beyond just like getting your caffeine fix. It's like, it's
a part of culture.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You go to fucking Italy, you walk in there and they have coffee bars. You walk in, you pay maybe the dude at the front, or you just pay the dude right there, and then boom, espresso, boom, and then fools will go out, smoke a cigarette, come back, or just throughout the day.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's part of what they do there.
No, yeah.
Exactly to your point.
And that's, and I could go on about that shit. I just like, I just think it's such an exciting world, and I can't imagine there's never going to be a time where we stop learning about coffee.
No.
There's just so much to learn.
There really is. I mean, and as technology continues to develop,
it's
only going to get gnarlier.
Yeah.
I bet there's going to be things that, you know, maybe I would like to say in the future, but like, you know, 5, maybe 10 years from now, depending on how things go, we could even break down the cellular structure or whatever and figure out why this or why that. It's
we're barely scratching the surface.
Yeah.
It's fucking exciting.
Dude.
Yeah.
So why roast? Why did you want, what was the like initial ignition that sparked the flame for you to like, yo, I want to roast this coffee?
I think, you know, I came from like kind of like a DIY background with like riding BMX and going to hardcore shows and stuff. So I always surrounded by people who were just like, if you want something, you just go get it.
Yeah.
You know, you just fucking make it happen, you know? And I guess more importantly, it's like, it's just about being creative. It's not about like, I was just fascinated with like creating stuff. And so the first time I saw coffee being roasted and like being taken from like this raw form to like a consumable form, and like, you know, there's like so much thought that goes into it, into creating it, that it just tapped into that same like sensation that I got riding BMX or going to shows or whatever.
Sick.
You know, is like, and I think, yeah, I just loved like, man, you just have this fucking tool and like you can never stop learning more and you can just always be creating with it. And like, again, I was just so excited by like creating,
Yeah.
you know.
Where was the shop? Like, do you remember the exact shop, the exact
Yeah.
moment?
So, I mean, I guess I got to give a lot of credit to Dark Horse for that one. Cause that was like, I was working at Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf and I was like 20 years old. And I was just like getting into coffee kind of because I was like going to school and like working at a shitty coffee shop, but like was like just more excited about going to coffee shops. So Dark Horse opened up and that was 2013 and I had just gone to Portland and had coffee at Stumptown for the first time.
Oh shit.
So game changer.
Yeah, super game changer.
Fucking mega game changer. And so I came back and I was like, where the fuck do I find coffee like that again?
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So that was such a major like turning point. I didn't see them roasting at Stumptown, but Dark Horse opened up. So then I went in there and like didn't know they were roasting right there. And I saw it and I was like, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, that's how it happens. Like that's roasting coffee, you know? And then I started working at Dark Horse.
Damn,
Yeah,
for
so,
real? Like
yeah.
that quick? You were like, yo, I need to work here?
It was maybe like a year later.
Okay.
Yeah, because I started going there shortly after they opened. And then I started working there in 2014.
Damn.
Yeah. And
dude, you move quick, bro.
dude,
214, and then you were saying you were this all Tired Eye started in 2016. So
Yeah.
you're doing things in increments of 2 years?
yeah, I hustled, man. It was like, I look back, I'll be honest, when people ask me like for advice and stuff, I'm like, honestly, take your time, you know, because like I'm so fucking happy where we're at, but sometimes I'm like, holy shit, I did that really fucking fast. Like I don't know, the fire was just lit in me after Dark Horse, and then I was just like, I'm gonna fucking go get it, you know. I mean, but again, it's just that BMX mentality, you know what it's like with skating.
With skating, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, not to, this is like a perfect segue, is that's why I didn't know that about you. And then when we started talking, I was like, yo,
Yeah.
you get it.
Yeah.
Because as a skateboarder, I've talked about this on the show before, is that I look at the world so differently, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or like any other skateboarder or an extreme sports, BMX, whatever. I'm sure you look at the world and like, yo, I could hit that ledge.
Dude,
Yo,
nonstop.
Yeah, and like, yo, I could hit this and then do this in a line or like whatever. Because are you a street BMX or are you park?
Street.
Street,
Yeah.
okay. Exactly.
All day.
All
Yeah.
day.
It's
So
the fucking best.
yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So when, as a skateboarder, you start analyzing these things, but you've taken injuries, I'm assuming.
Oh, dude, yeah. Gnarly ones.
Broken bones. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, I've done the same thing, and I'm like, dude, you don't get hurt on this, and you can fail as many times as you want. The
Dude.
coffee, for the most part, will still taste good, and then at the same
mine or
time,
yours?
oh, I'm sorry. This is embarrassing. I'm so sorry. That never happened.
That's pretty funny.
I'm so sorry. Wow, I shouldn't have done that. That was like a total game killer. That sucked. When I look at the world, I'm like, I'm not physically getting hurt doing this.
Yeah, in terms of roasting coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, bro, we can still make the coffee taste good. It might taste a little roasty or flat or baked or something. I mean, if it's really, really bad, just donate it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm like, dude, take the exact same intention and dedication and obsession that I heard you say earlier.
Yeah.
And you apply that to something that you're just using your brain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yes.
Yeah,
I'm
and that's
100% behind
and that's what I'm saying about like the creative aspect. You know, was like the first time I saw a roaster, I was like, dude, it's just like a board or just like a bike, in the way that you're just using this tool and you're like, you have an end goal in mind.
Yep.
You know, and you're just like, you're failing, but then eventually you get it.
Yep.
You know, and that's where roasting, that's when the fire really lit for me, was when I saw that. I was like, you have this end goal in mind, you're failing, you're trying new things, and then suddenly you get it, and like the clouds part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's all worth it.
That's
you know, and
tight,
that's
bro.
like, and that's something I think only skaters, BMX riders, like action sports people, athletes in general, I think that's like, I think one of the most unique traits about them is we're not afraid to fail.
Dude, you
know?
have to embrace it, and to the point where it's like, when you fail, you laugh.
Yeah, legit.
It's just like,
And there's still moments where like I'll fail at something and it fucking hurts and it sucks and you're just like, God damn it.
yeah,
But-
and you're pissed off.
Yeah,
you know?
and it'll ruin your day.
Yeah.
But the next day you get up and do it again, and I think that just comes from BMX and skating. You know, failure gets normalized.
Yeah.
You know, because
it's
I
just
mean,
part
it's
of the game, bro.
Yeah, it's just part of it's half the fun too. You know, I mean, not that I love failing, but like it makes it that much sweeter when you succeed.
Bro,
you know,
it's honestly 100% the best part. That right there, because you get last place in a skate competition, coffee competition, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's okay. Perfect example. To your point, I did this is my first year at the U.S. Coffee Championships. I did the prelims.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'll enter this free one, but all those fails, I'll just, this will be the practice, and then I'll go into the real ones. Got dead last.
Fuck.
Dead fucking last. And bro, I've never been so pissed off at like a coffee roasting competition. Are you like, are you serious? But then we go to Cold Brew City Fest that just happened this past weekend. Yeah. And we got 5th. Yeah. I met some heavy hitters, and I made that coffee. So I was like, all right. Yeah.
No, yeah. And again, it's like you're not afraid of that sensation of failing and then trying again.
It's like, dude, as long as we don't get dead last, I'm okay. That's what I told myself. Like, yo, can't take another L right now.
Yeah, for real. You're like, fuck, yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Dude, on the real, but and then to be amongst some of the big names, Dark Horse was there for sure. Yeah. Or actually, I don't know if they were there, but Cafe Moto, Bird Rock, Walk Coffee, all these places. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And then you regroup and you redo it, and everything works out. And I mean, that's what I think when I heard that, or when you told me that you were a BMXer, I'm like, yes. And then we were talking about Barcelona, and you're like, I'd love to go there and ride and shit. And it's like, yeah, bro. Yeah. I get how fast you move.
Yeah. And another thing is like BMX riders and skaters and all that, like they just like having ownership of what they do. We fell in love with the skate and BMX culture because no one can tell you what to do, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And so that's where that came from, was like I was just working jobs where I was like, this is chill, I'm learning a lot, like it's good, but like I just want my own shit where no one can tell me what to do. And I think that's why I hustled as hard as I did, because I'm so used to, it's not that I'm so used to it, I crave that sensation of like, I'm just gonna fucking do it how I want it. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely a very fast track to now, owning a shop.
Now, you had mentioned that you had actually worked under Elliot at State, right? As a production roaster?
Yeah.
So did you learn a lot from him? I'm assuming since as a production roaster, you moved up to like at least a 25 kilo.
Yeah. Well, it's a 12 kilo.
12 kilo.
Yeah. So it's like,
or 25 pounds, sorry.
Yeah,
12 kilo, 25 pounds.
Yeah. So yeah, that, funny enough, like that was more important even than Inter-American, because Inter-American was great. It laid the foundation, but roasting for Elliot was like the exact fucking skill I needed to have the confidence to do my own shop, because I was still filling out this roasting stuff and just like, I knew I could be better. I was terrified of like opening a shop and just not being confident in what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? And when I got the opportunity with Elliot, I was like, fuck yes, that was the last piece of the puzzle that I felt like I was missing, was like production roasting under someone who was better at it than I am. You know what I'm saying? Like having 100%, a real mentor. And like, I sucked when I got on, and I thought I was an okay roaster. And then I got on with him, and then the first, it was maybe about 6 months that I roasted for him. It was quick because he knew I wanted to do Tired Eyes, The first 2-3 months, I was like stressed every time I went in, because
anxiety, like, oh shit, I don't want to fuck it up.
Because Elliot, he's so good. It's his product, like it's his money. He's like trusting me, and fucking shout out to him for even trusting me. And so I was always just fucking stressed at first, because I did not realize how much room I still had to grow as a roaster. Yeah. But doing it under his supervision made me so much better. It was a fucking challenge. It was stressful, but by the last couple months there, I felt like I had just taken leaps and bounds as a roaster. Yeah. And that's not to say I'm fully formed as a roaster. I still want to be better.
No, 100%.
I mean, we all do, right?
Yeah. Dude, you're never done.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah.
But yeah, so working for Elliot, that was another game changer of just like, it was a quick fucking crash course, 6 months, and like,
dude, I can't believe you did it in 6 months, bro.
Yeah, it was just Yeah, fucking great opportunity. Right place at the right time.
Bro, it blows my mind because I didn't, like, Elliot used to be called like Boogie Beans.
Yeah, way
back in the day.
Yeah.
And Steady State was in that back, like with the welding shop. Yeah. And so I would see the 1 kilo roaster there, and then I seen them evolve into Steady State, like reopen a Steady State and go into there. I don't know dude personally. I mean, like, I obviously know who he is, but when you told me that too, that you had been working for him, I was like, what the
Yeah.
no wonder your coffee tastes like pristine. You know?
And I'll be the first to tell you I'm still not even as good as I want to be.
Yeah.
You know, because Elliot blows my mind still. You know, like I'll talk to him about coffee, or I'll, you know, hear him say some theory about roasting, and I'm like, fuck, I still have so much to learn. You know, because he's just, I really look up to him, and, you know, people like him, Scott Rayo, Onyx Coffee out in Arkansas, like all these different like people that I still feel like are doing it way better than we're even close to doing.
Yeah.
Keep me humble and keep me hungry to learn. Dude, you know?
That's how I feel about Augie's right now. Dude. Augie's has been fucking blowing my mind. I just met Austin and the other dude.
Tim?
Tim, yes.
Yeah.
Tim. I was trying to remember his name last night, and I was
there
like,
you go.
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim. But I met them at Public Square.
Hell yeah.
In a couple weeks ago, and I told him, I was like, bro, I had just gone to their coffee shop for the first time during the U.S. Coffee Championship things.
Hell yeah.
I had their batch brew, and I could taste the sweetness of the coffee through my Olay.
Oh, dude,
Bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what you do, bro. And he ends up telling me, like, we have this, I forgot the size of the roaster that they have, but he's like, oh yeah, instead of doing the max batch, he's like, yeah, we do it like a pound more, and we still make it good. And they're winning awards, and they're doing all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And they're the chillest dudes. They're just.
Oh yeah, you would never fucking know. They, you know, Augie's is what, like 6 cafes deep or something.
Yeah.
Like has all this brand recognition in the industry. Like they're a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
You know, like people love Augie's, but you meet Tim and Austin, and you're like, you'd never fucking know.
Like, when I met him, I was like, oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, Austin, nice to meet you. Oh, where you work? Augie's, cool. And then he was like, yeah, we just opened up our. He's like, no, I own Augie's. I was like,
yeah.
What?
Dude.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, you're like, wait a second. Own?
Yeah.
You said own?
I'm like standing there talking to him, like I'm thinking it's just a normal dude, but I'll have like my grill in and shit. I'm just like, what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's, dude, and that's, I love that shit though, you know, because to me it shows that they're in it for the right reason. You know, they're doing this shit, and you can see it in their brand. They're doing this shit because they think it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, and you see their branding and all that, and that, like, you know, it shows itself in the Augie's experience. You know, they're fucking fun.
Dude, they really are, and they have their podcast. Have you heard their podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah, and that's see, I love listening to roaster podcasts or even SCA podcasts. Sometimes they just get so dry, bro. I'm just like, damn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But we can still geek out about fucking coffee. I mean, just let's spruce it up a little bit.
No, yeah, dude. There's a culture happening in coffee, and it doesn't always have to revolve around fucking the science of coffee.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Always.
Like, I mean, dude, this is like, you know, this is part of coffee culture.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, it can totally be fun and like fucking easygoing. And at the end of the day, the community is what makes it so fucking special. Yeah. No, yeah, I totally fuck with you. Some of them get super dry.
But at the same time, even though they're dry, I'm still sitting there like, it's actually really interesting, but it's like, Jen, like,
dude,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, do you ever realize like we're just legit the biggest nerds on earth?
I mean, I don't like to think that way because I think I'm a skater in a sense, but like my mentality and the way I look at life is so hip hop oriented that it's being a nerd is not even you. It doesn't matter that we're nerds.
Yeah.
How are you as a person kind of thing? So I take it like a little deeper, but then I do find myself, like the other day I was talking to the owner of the shop and I was like, yeah, so like I was reading about espresso and doing these things. He's like, when did you do this? And I was like, last night. He's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I ended up researching for like 3 hours, just kind of getting deep into like Book of Roast and other theories, watching YouTube videos like other people are saying about things. And it's like, to be a better roaster, you have to do that. It's not even it's not even a job at that point. I think it's so much deeper. Like what you were talking about, it's the passion, the fire, and being a skateboarder or BMXer. When you see a pro skateboarder or pro BMXer doing a trick that fucking blew your mind, you're like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
What was your thought process to do that trick?
Yeah. 100.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, yeah. And my brother rides also. We have that same fucking conversation every time we see like a banger new video, you know, and like you see some crazy shit get pulled and you're just like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah.
You know, like, were you thinking at all?
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Cause it's just like, yeah, it's.
Well, the thing is too, is that I'm sure you've met pro skaters or pro BMXers. When you meet them, and especially if you're in a competition set, like they're so focused or they're dialed in on whatever they're doing that they're like not even really there. They're just, this is what I'm going to do. And they do it.
Dude, yeah. Some of the best riders I've been around, it's like they just have a switch. You know, they're like, they see something they want to do and like they've been chilling all day or whatever. And then suddenly they see like that clip they want to film and they're just like, turn on this switch and they fucking get it.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's what I never had as a rider. I've always been like the type of rider that I just want to fucking pedal through the city, like chill with my friends and just ride whatever random spot we find. I've never had that ability to just be like, all right, let's fucking get it. I'm going to get this exact clip. I've had those moments, but like, I just like a more free flowing experience, you know, but anyways, I'm just rambling about skating.
Dude, no, fucking do that, please. That's what makes these conversations go because I think especially with me and you, what makes it so interesting is that I haven't really met anybody else in coffee that really understands that mentality. Yeah. Because I've talked about it on the podcast, like I said earlier, it was that when you meet people from coffee who are like, this is their thing, or they have like other interests, but they're not like, it's not an extreme sport where a thing that you've broken your bones for, a thing where you've actually taken physical beatings, concrete wins every time.
Yeah, legit. It is undefeated.
It is.
Yeah. I have tested the theory and it wins.
Concrete constantly. Undefeated. Yeah. Yo, you were never going to win.
Yeah.
But when you take those beatings, when you're doing things that require more creative thought, like roasting, and also where it like you can hone in on your creativity and create something out of nothing, or create this flavor, if you will, or this flavor profile, or these espresso blends. Yeah, it's like, it's enticing, it's exciting, it's so many things.
It's like an endless universe of just like curiosity. You know, you're like, okay, well, this tasted good. But what if I did this? Yeah. You know, and that it just keeps it so fun. And it's the same thing as, you know, any creative like outlet. You're just constantly wondering like, well, that was fucking fun, but what if I did this? You know, it's just curiosity, man.
Well, dude, this actually leads me to it's a good segue to this because I was talking to Asa Sunday morning. I was at like Gentile Coffee. I was like, yo, bro, I'm going to be here. Meet me here. Or I was like, do you want to meet up? He's like, yeah, let's meet up. And he's like, when are you going to get there? I was like, I just parked. I'm like, yo, get my shit. I'm already there. Like, confirmed with myself. Plans are made. Let's go. I'm there. So we're talking, and we ended up getting this conversation about roasting, of course. And he was talking to me about espresso blending. Yeah. And I was talking to him about, I was talking about this certain espresso that I had thought there was like this coffee that I had that was super almondy, but sweet with nectar, a little bit of agave, something like that. Yeah. And then I have this Robusta that is so, I can't think of a better word to describe it than pungent. Like when you roast it, it's just like in your face flavors. Cherry, custard, but it's specialty grade. So it's a good, good coffee. I put them together and I had this idea that I could make a cherry amaretto, and through trial and error, we did it. And then I did super small samples and I put it through the espresso. We started pulling shots of it, and dude, we got it on like a 90-10. So a super low amount of Robusta, but it ended up coming out like cherry amaretto.
That's fucking awesome.
And I was telling Asa about that, and I was saying like, bro, that's how I think of coffee. Yeah. Like, cool. I mean, like, granted, you have a Catmore coffee, you have a Katui, you have these like different genetic makeups of coffee, and they are all either porous or dense or this or that. And you talk about the roasting aspect, but I think more of the flavor aspect. Like, okay, I figured out how to roast these. I got these. You'll figure that part out. But then if you can mix the flavors in, that's when you get the magic. Yeah. So he's like, you look at roasting as more of like a culinary experience. And it wasn't until he said that on Sunday that I've really thought about it that way. I was like, I guess so.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, that's where I see specialty coffee heading in general right now, is like trying to create more of an experience around it, you know, because I think everyone wants to roast the best coffee they can, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so like, I don't want to say there's a ceiling to getting better at roasting, you know, because we're always going to be getting better at it. But I think there's more possibilities around creating unique coffee experiences.
Yeah.
You know, like what, I don't think I've ever walked into a shop that looks like Seven Seas. I've definitely never seen a fucking aquarium in a shop. Dude, right? You know? And so like, and I just think like that's where specialty coffee is heading, is like, you know, frankly, even Tired Eyes. I think our experience is completely unique to Tired Eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and Dark Horse, theirs is very much Dark Horse. And like, and so I think the culinary thing is like, there's some shops that I'm seeing now that they're totally treating it like that. And I'm like, that's not how I think of it. I love experiencing it. That's not how I think of it though. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We can each find our own little niche of like, this is how I love to present our coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it again, you just have a fucking blank canvas to do whatever you want.
Well, dude, you're creating a vibe. It's a vibe 100%. For sure.
100%.
You know what I mean? And I've actually, again, on the podcast before, we've talked about this. There's all this, I mean, it's kind of, the chatter is kind of, you know, subdued now. But for a while ago, I mean, within the last year, there was all this talk of like the fourth wave. Like, what's going to, you know, what's going to happen next? And so I had some coffee people on, and mine was never even about automation or anything. Cause like automation, in my opinion, it's like, dude, we're already there. Like if you look at it, like that roaster is nowhere near what I learned on ProBat L12. That thing is manual as hell.
Yeah.
And then you go, that's like driving a Tesla right there.
Yeah.
But I still do manual. Like I don't do automatic. But it's exactly to your point. My point was that fourth wave, I think, is going to be about experience.
Yeah.
You're gonna see shops like Seven Seas, shops like Por Vida, shops like your shop.
Yeah.
Where that's another thing I wanted to segue into, is about the art that goes into the walls that you did. And I thought the color palette that you used, the white, the black, the grays, it's very simple, but it's very, very good. And the art that you had was so intricate on the wall. You have like full wall pieces.
Yeah. And I can't take any credit for, you know, the art and design. That's all Bradford Lynn. He's like, he's on the Tired Eyes payroll, you know, like he's our fucking art and design guy, you know? So that's been from the beginning a crucial element of like the Tired Eyes experience. Yeah. You know, again, just getting back to like, it is about experience now moving forward. So I mean, I had my vision in mind for what I wanted out of a cafe, you know, and executed that. And then the visual, the art element, that's all him. You know, he did the whole mural. He does the merch. He does, you know, pretty much all the branding that has to do with art and illustration. And he adds a very important layer to Tired Eyes, you know, because one, we're striking immediately. Like, I mean, our logo is powerful.
Dude, your logo is so fucking sick. Thank you. And the fact that you have those cups.
Yeah. And now, dude, and and so like Brad, and that's Brad, you know, Brad made that fucking logo. And like, we've been talking about making those cups since the beginning. The logos existed since 2017, you know, before I had ever said a word about doing this. It was just Brad and I talking, you know, and I was just telling him, like, he's just always kind of been someone I bounce ideas off of. So the logos existed for a hot minute, and we were always just like, dude, we're going to make a real fucking mug out of it. Like, our logo is going to come to life, you know? Yep. And like, but we waited and we waited because we were like, the timing's got to be right, because that shit is like, it's powerful, you know? And so, yeah, the logo is so impactful. And then people walk in and they can fucking drink their coffee out of the logo itself. Yeah. You know?
Well, tell me, dude, when we were at the shop, you were telling me that it actually took you a couple goes.
Oh yeah, we were, dude. Brad and I are really fucking picky, and Brad more so than I in terms of the art and design stuff, because like that's what. Yeah, he's an artist. Yeah. Yeah. You know, but collectively we're just like so fucking picky. You know, like we don't like to drop something unless we just love it. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So it took us a few goes with, you know, the people who printed it, and they probably thought they didn't think we were a-holes, because they were definitely the ones that fucked up. I won't say their names, but you know, we just wanted it to look exactly right. And we, you know, like we were measuring this shit. I was on the phone with them several times. Like I have mugs in storage right now that look like shit because they were misprinted. And like, so I'm sitting on, you know, a few cases of mugs that are never going to see the light of day,
yeah.
You know, because we were that picky about it. So yeah, super picky about that. And it's part of just what makes us unique is like the brand looks like, in my opinion, like not any other coffee shop right now.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a braggadocious way. I just say like, we're just true to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And like
but that right there is what I was saying earlier. If there was going to be this fourth wave or some bullshit, the next move is everybody can roast good coffee. Yeah. Everybody wants to roast good coffee.
Did you talked about this on Sprocast, didn't you?
I think so too. Yeah. Well, because they had brought it up on a previous episode.
Yeah.
Where they were talking about that fourth wave and automate. Like they were talking about automation and all that stuff, and I was like, nah, it's gonna be the creative aspect. But it's like what you're talking about, bro. I mean, you can walk into Tired Eyes and it's a vibe.
Yeah,
you have your bikes up on the wall. You have the certain look that you have. You have very clean lines, very clean everything.
Yeah.
When I had Aaron on from Public Square on Monday, dude, he went super in depth about the interior design, about how all the lines are segueing like into the shop, and you're all going towards basically like the bar and stuff. And I was like, bro, the interior design I feel like that goes to my point is that more and more people are focusing on what is on the walls and what are you creating.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people feel like they're comforted at your spot, comfortable. They feel welcome. They feel like, yo, I identify with this shop. This is where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, and that's cool, dude. You know, I don't get very competitive, you know, between like shop to shop, because I'm like, each shop can find what they're good at and thrive. There's enough coffee drinkers in the world that there's enough to go around, you know, and like, and that's, just totally, all I'm saying is I agree.
Yeah,
you know? Like it's about creating a space. And I didn't realize that was probably my like favorite thing about this entire experience, you know, opening up a shop, was creating a space. You know, like at first I got the shop and I was like, fuck it, I'm dropping a coffee cart in here right away. You know, I was like, we're just opening up like next month. Yeah. You know, we'll fucking repaint everything. I'm putting the cart in. I'm going and buying an espresso machine. You were
already aware of the laws with that and stuff like that.
Yeah, most definitely. And then we like started renovating, and I was like, no, I want to like make a nice space. Yeah. You know, my eyes just opened up to like, we have a spot. This is our home. Like, this is where Tired Eyes comes to life. Let's make a nice space, you know? And so I think that was just like, that was the most exciting thing I experienced. And now it's what I love about going to other shops. Yep. You know, it's like, even if I walk out and I'm like, yeah, the coffee was like not what I wanted to taste, you know, that's fine, because I gained something from the experience. Yep. You know, I just got back from Chicago recently, and there was a shop there that I already knew about. They're a big chain out there. I shouldn't say big, but they have probably 10 shops in Chicago.
I mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking big. It's pretty big. Yeah, what am I saying? It's pretty fucking big. Yeah. Yeah. And so I already knew about them. I already knew I wasn't super into their coffee. Okay. You know, like I mean, they're totally about the branded experience and like having a big menu with all kinds of crazy options, you know, and like, that's fine. It's not what I want to do, you know? So I walked in there knowing I was like going to get a whatever coffee, you know, but I walked in there more importantly knowing I just want to see their space, because they make these crazy fucking cafes. And I'm totally like, I came back and I'm like, there's like 3 projects on my list in the shop now that were inspired by their shop.
Sick.
You know, and I just, so now as a shop owner, I'm just going to other shops and I'm looking at, that's why the first thing I did when I walked in here was like, dude, can I look behind your bar? Yeah. You know, because I just like, I'm constantly like, creating a space was the funnest fucking thing about this whole experience. Dude,
yes. I mean, I've never thought about creating a space or even how to set up a space. Yeah. But in thinking about, I have to tell you something, and I'm not going to be embarrassed about telling you this. No, I mean, I'm going to sound like a little bit of a fan, but I hope it does, because, dude, honestly, I've already been, like, on the fence about starting my own shit, just because, like, yo, like, I've been roasting longer than you, and I feel like I still have so much to learn. Like, why would I want to do these things? But then I talked to you, and you were like, yeah, I'm 27. I do this. I've done this. I've done this.
Yeah.
I've done this. And I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
For me, that moment after I walked out of your space, I smoked a joint. I walked around I walked around the block. I walked
Dude,
out of your shop.
That makes me so happy.
Bro,
yeah,
I did. I was like, I didn't expect to have the experience that I had when I walked in and I got to talk to you.
yeah,
And I ended up staying for like a fucking hour.
yeah.
And then like I walk out of the shop and I walk around the block. I smoke a spliff and I was just like, that's it.
Yeah, dude, and that makes me fucking happy because here's the thing is like, one, thank you. I really appreciate that, you know, that it.
You inspired me, bro. Like,
That's awesome.
on the fucking
yeah,
real.
That's awesome. And that's exciting because something I've learned is like, dude, looking back, like I was what finally made me say like, fuck it, I'm going to do it was I realized there was never going to be a time that I felt like I knew enough. I still feel like I don't know enough. I still feel like every day I have like this massive mountain to climb. That's probably never going to change.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Never, bro.
And so like once you accept that, then I feel like the gates just fucking open.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm going in on it. Cause I was so scared to even think about opening a shop because I just felt like I didn't know enough. But I was like, look, here I am with a shop, you know, that's like, it's open, it's functional, it's running, it's doing well. And I'm still every day like, fuck, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You know,
but how do you deal with that? How do you deal with being scared? Because that's essentially you're scared.
Yeah.
And not in a negative way.
Yeah. No, I will be honest. I was not prepared for like the psychological impact of owning a physical space.
Yeah.
Because it's scary. You know, you're every day you're just like, you have so much fucking responsibility. You know, I've got 2 employees, like the building, if it gets damaged, like if equipment gets damaged, if a customer gets injured in the shop, like all this shit that falls on my shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, I was not prepared for that. And I guess I just deal with it by like being honest about it, truthfully. You know, that's been the number one thing is just being honest with myself and honest with my close circle about like, I don't know about this. It scares me, but I'm determined to make this shit work and figure it out. I think that's enough. You know, like that's enough to keep me going is I know what end goal I have in mind. I want to see that through to the end.
Yeah. Well, dude,
So-
your actions alone.
Yeah.
If anybody looks at what you've done since 2014 to present day,
Yeah.
be like, if you're like, yo, I'm gonna figure this out, I'm gonna get it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be okay. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you. Yeah. And I mean, that's like, you're always running a risk as a business owner.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what I've learned is what you see on the surface is as a customer, what you see on the surface is nowhere near what the, you know, like all the layers underneath look like. As in like, as a business owner, there's just so much complexity to making this thing run.
Yeah.
And there's so much risk, you know,
so much risk, and there's
And
no
it's-
guarantees, bro.
zero guarantees. But dude, I will be honest, that shit excites me. It takes a certain type of personality, I think, and like it just comes back to the BMX thing. I like that sensation of like, I don't know, but I'm gonna send it.
I'm gonna send.
You know, like
fuck
like
yeah, bro.
and it scares me because I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be 60 and still sending it because
dude, fuck it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like yeah, it's the wildest thing I've ever done for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, today within the same hour, I was at like, I don't want to say like one of my lowest lows but like some shit happened where I was just like, oh fuck, I fucked that up. And then I got 2 texts from friends that went by the shop today and they were like, dude, I don't know what you have on batch brew, but it is fire.
Fucking fire.
You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
so 30 minutes
Yeah.
after I'm like sitting in my fucking car in a parking lot, like stressed about something, I get these texts and I'm like, nah, we good.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is
I'm like,
all-
let's get back to it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so that's just the roller coaster of owning a business,
Yep.
you know, and
Yep.
what I've learned to cope with it is just accept the shitty days when they happen and embrace the fuck out of the good moments. You know, like,
Dude, well, so that right there, that actually leads me to a kind of a deeper question, a little bit about coffee, but it's more about like your mental state.
yeah,
Would be, it sounds like you're pretty good at compartmentalizing.
yeah, you have to.
You have to be.
And you can't, you know, put it away in one separate compartment and then put it away forever. You have to
Yeah.
come back to it and uncover it and be like, okay, now what do we do about this?
Yeah.
But you have to be like, if shit hits the fan and you're in the cafe and you still have to be open for the next 5 hours, you have to be willing to be like, all right, I got to help these customers while I'm trying to figure this shit out on the side, or I got to prioritize and push this aside until tomorrow. You know, you have to just be able to like prioritize.
But it's even, I mean, if you're working with customers, because you're still in the cafe, you only have 2 employees.
Yeah.
You actually, if a customer comes in and they're like, oh, shit, Tyler's here. I've been wanting to ask him about this. And then he's going to try to pick your brain. So it's like, but you have some other shit going on in the back of your head. You give your full attention to that customer and you engage and you keep the conversation going. But then at the same time, you're like, oh, your phone's going off. And you're just like,
dude,
like you're keeping your cool. Like,
at this point, I would think you own 7 C's because you're like describing my life right now.
Dude, I swear to God.
That's the story of my life every fucking day. You know, I mean, I was texting my partner about it the other day and I was telling her, I was like, it's fucking awesome when I have people coming into the shop that are so excited to see it. But depending on the moment, it could be good or bad for my day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I have a fucking laundry list of shit to do and I'm like in the fucking groove getting it, and then someone comes in and I'm like, fuck, I need to give this person my attention because they're taking the time out of their day to be here. That could derail my whole day.
Yeah.
You know, everything else goes to shit, but it's fun for me though at the same time to hang out with friends in my shop. Exactly. You know, so you, again,
well, because that's why you created the sense of community. Yeah. To a sense, to a certain extent, yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so, you have to be able to compartmentalize and, you know, prioritize and say, this is demanding my attention right now. It needs my attention. This other thing, all right, I'll put it off, you know, and like, but again, you have to be willing to like come back to it, and you just can't leave shit left alone forever.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like over the course of this year, I mean, opening this shop, and I was here before we opened to the first day when we just opened the door and just like, who's gonna come in,
dude? You know, it's the weirdest feeling
ever. It's the weirdest fucking feeling, and then you have all that, but then it's like, my dog died, and then this other thing happened, but it's like I got the podcast going, and I book my shit out like weeks, almost 6 weeks out. So it's like, dog died on Saturday. I have a podcast on Sunday, a podcast on Monday. But between those, I had to like, let it go. I deal with it. And then it's like, okay, at this time, I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to get ready. I'm not going to think about this. Go do the thing. Yeah. Happy, love, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
and then go back to it.
Yeah, you got it down, dude. That's it. That's like, that's a story of my life. You know, I mean, dude, before I was here, I was like, I was getting shit done. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I got to go to the podcast, you know, in an hour. And I was like, let me chill for a second. Yeah. You know, I was like, ate a fucking sandwich, like chilled, listened to some good music. And like that 40 minutes that I got to chill, it allows me to get back into like, obviously this is fucking chill and this is fun, but it's like, it's also still like, you got to show up for it.
You got to show up. You got to be ready. Yeah.
So it's totally just like you said, compartmentalizing throughout the day of just like, now's the time for this. Got to do it. Okay. What's next? Oh shit, this happened. Fuck, later. You know, like...
dude, that one... Yeah. Fuck, dude, I feel like you are in my head right there. Like,
dude, it's...
Later. Yeah.
Yeah, like, legit. Yeah, and that's all it is, you know, and like, it's... Again, it's a lot of mental weight to carry throughout the day. Mm-hmm. But if at the end of the day, in my eyes, it's like, if you're doing what you love, then it doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't fucking matter at all, bro. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like,
legit, and... Something I've also learned is a lot of shit can fall through the cracks and you'll still be successful, you know, like, dude. And like, not that I'm vouching for like half-assed work, you know, like, but I'm just saying like, again, you just learn how to prioritize. You're like, that can get put off for right now.
Well, dude, there's a perfect point, and we can even bring it back to coffee right there, is like, bro, this had to be within the first 2 months that maybe 3 months that we were open. Yeah. We weren't accustomed to like the ordering green and having like the week delay and then having it come, and it's like, okay, boom, boom, boom. So what happened? We ran out of our espresso. So all I had left was a Malawi.
Damn.
And like, I want to say like a Guatemala. And I just fucking made an espresso off of that. And it was not good.
Dude, but
we made it work.
What choice do you have? Yeah.
We made it work, and we got through it, and then the pallet came, and then we got back on track. But I know there was specialty coffee people who came in that week, and they were like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nah.
Dude, and that's, you know, I will be honest, for me personally, those are some of the hardest moments, is when we're doing something that I know is like not as good as I wish it would be, but and like someone comes in and I'm like, fuck, you had to come in today, didn't you?
Yeah.
When
Oh,
like
dude,
when we're doing whatever to just get by, you know, but it's just part of the journey. And like, yeah, you just have to roll with those punches, but it hurts,
Dude, it does.
And it's a learning experience,
Yep.
you know, because yeah, there are coffees right now that like I'm trying to get through that we had on contract, you know, and like they're not coffees that maybe I would buy again,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
like, but you're just working with what you got, you know, and like, again, now I know for the future. And so it's just like each experience, you just pile up knowledge, you know, whether you failed at that experience or whether you did really well, you're just gaining more information to make better decisions moving forward.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
You know, because now you're like, now you guys know, like, oh shit, we got to be on our green.
Oh,
you know, like
100%.
and
And it's like moving through the green.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Let's not get another bag. Let's
Yeah.
move through what we have.
Dude, that's good because I think, you know, that's something I saw at Inter-American. I got to see a lot of behind the scenes of like what roasters were buying and stuff. It's better to run out than to have too much, you know, because like if you have too much and it's just sitting there and getting old and like there's always more green coffee to be found.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's so important. Like, dude, I literally, it makes me nervous because if we run out of a coffee that I really like and want back and it's not there anymore, like I have to go find something else.
Something similar or whatever.
Yeah, something similar. But I only buy a bag at a time of each coffee right now. Like that's just my rule right now because we're moving through a bag, you know, pretty consistently. So, you know, it's just like
One bag at a time? Just one?
not like I get a pallet and there's literally one bag on the pallet. I'm saying one bag of each coffee.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
our espresso has 3 different coffees in it.
Okay, so you
I
have
buy
3 different
one
bags.
of each bag.
Yeah.
You know, and then for single origins, I buy one of each bag. You know, and it's like, that's scary because you're like, fuck, I love this coffee. I want to get more, but it's just better to run out.
And you don't want to overcommit to like buying a shitload of bags.
Yeah,
like-
exactly. And I think that's where a lot of, you know, I've heard many roasters, and I've even done it still, even with my experience at Inter-American, of just buying too much coffee, and then you overcommit, and then a year later you have this old coffee that you're trying to get through, and you're just like kicking yourself because you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
I really didn't need to buy that much, you know? So, but yeah, buying green is, excuse me, it's totally like a skill in itself, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Dude, yeah, I'm definitely learning about the green. I mean,
yeah.
again, I've been roasting longer than you, but I'm still learning so much where I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, took an L. But
Yeah.
what's been great about opening up 7 Seeds is like being here and having none of the financial risk,
Yeah.
but being here to help make key decisions and then also doing all the coffee and everything.
Yeah.
I'm able to see and learn everything that's with it and be like, damn, when you take an L and then it's like, all right, well, I get a text like, yo, dude, this coffee's fire. Or like, yo,
Yeah.
our Orange County location, like people are loving this or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%,
Like,
yeah, and that's like, and you know, for anyone listening who's curious about that, it's like, be prepared for that. You're gonna take 10 L's before you get 1 W.
oh, dude.
You know, you might even take 20.
Yeah, I was
you
going to
know,
say probably
like,
closer to 20.
yeah, it's just like, that's just how it goes. But that one win is just like, it'll make your fucking day.
What
you
is
know?
what is the first trick that you learn on a BMX? Is it like a bunny hop or like
it's technically a bunny hop, but like I feel like anyone eventually, if you ride a BMX bike long enough, you eventually fuck with the bunny hop. But as a BMX rider, I would say one of the first things you learn is like an X up. You know, you turn the bars 180 degrees.
Yep.
So that's like a big one. Yeah.
That's like a
novice trick.
fundamental. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
a fundamental. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to learn next up?
I mean, probably like a few weeks.
A few weeks?
Yeah, which is like, so some of the harder tricks, like a 180, you know, like, which as a teenager, you're trying to lift this fucking, 25-pound bike 180 degrees, land backwards, ride backwards, turn out, that took me probably 4 or 5 months.
Okay, so that's maybe a better one.
Yeah,
The 180
that's a
might be
much better one.
Okay.
X up is like something you can do messing around.
Okay.
Yeah.
180
is like, no, you have to like actually commit to riding BMX to be able to do that.
Okay. Because I was going to say it's more like a kickflip. Like kickflip, I mean, now kids can learn kickflips super easy, but back in the day before YouTube and all that shit, it was like 5-6 months.
Oh, yeah. Of dude, of like, and you know, it's weird because you'll have those days where like you ever learn a trick and you land it one day and you're like, I got it.
Yep.
The next 2 months you still can't fucking land it.
Oh, dude, I know exactly.
You know, you got it one time and then you're like, fuck yeah, I got it. And then for whatever reason, your body just doesn't cooperate and it takes you another 2 months to finally like figure it out, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like, what's that noise? A car?
I think it's a car out there.
Okay, yeah. That was a 180. You know, like there would be days where I would get it and I was like, I fucking got it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good, you know? But it took me probably 5 months, and I so vividly remember the first time I did it, like, and then turned around and did it again, and I was like, can I do it a third time?
Yeah.
And you get it a third, and it just clicks, you know, and you just know how to do it.
Yep.
You know, but anyway, so you're just saying like an analogy of like.
Well, yeah, no, it was like the analogy is that 4 to 5 months of doing, whether it's your 180, whether it's my kickflip, the same thing is happening in coffee roasting, and it's just L after L. I was like, fuck, this sucks. I'm just not getting good at it. And then you start to get good at it.
Yeah.
It's when but for me, it was interesting, and I know you can relate to this because I learned like a mentor. I've talked to other roasters, people who've just taught themselves. I'm like, did you have a mentor at all? And they're like, nothing. Yeah. It's like, damn. As a person who learned from a mentor, I was like, dude, if you can find one, do it.
Absolutely.
Please.
Like 1000%.
Yeah.
It's so important because, dude, I taught myself a lot, and I still wish like if I had met Elliot a little bit earlier, I don't know if I'd have tired eyes because I would probably potentially still be working for him, you know, but like I just met him at a time where tired eyes was already on the move. You know what I'm saying? Or like it was already.
You were generating a buzz.
Yeah, exactly. So like, but I think about my time with Elliot, and it was like the best like 6-month crash course in roasting I ever could have got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like that. So now my advice to other people is like, so if you're working at a place that you like and you're going into work and you're like, this is fucking cool, I'm learning every day. You like your bosses, like, you know, you just feel satisfied, ride that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because there's nothing like having a place where you're learning and you don't have to carry that risk. You know?
Dude, that's why I was not wanting to start my own thing for a long time, just because I fucking love it here. I love my team. I mean, I was telling you, I was having a drink with one of my coworkers before this, and it's just like, it's more than just we're not even just a coffee shop. We're a coffee roaster, and we're doing so many crazy different things all the fucking time. It's like, bro, there's no reason to like fuck it up.
And ride
it out.
Yeah,
let's
most
do
definitely.
this.
See, and I was just in positions where I wasn't happy. Yeah. You know, like I got burnt out in the cafe. And then from there I went into sales, and that was in LA, and like that job deteriorated like super fucking quick. Like a year in, I quit. And then a month later, my coworkers told me like, hey, they just laid us all off.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not afraid to say who it is because it doesn't fucking make a difference. But I was working for Stumptown, doing sales for them, thinking I was going to live the dream because like I look up to Stumptown because they're like the crown jewel of like specialty coffee because they pioneered so much of it. So I'm working for them. I was like, this is going to be the sickest thing I've ever could have imagined. While it was cool and I did learn a lot, I think I learned a lot because of things I didn't like that were going on there, you know, and it's because they had been bought out by Pete's, you know, and so like Pete's was just like chopping shit left and right. Like, we don't need that. Or Stumptown doesn't need that. We'll take it over for them, you know, save money.
Yeah, putting their team in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I got that job, and it was fucking cool. It definitely still, I learned a lot that I needed to know, and I still like, it kept my fire burning, you know, to be working for a dream company. But eventually it was just like, so, you know, it got to the point where like, I was like, all of us coworkers were like lying about whether or not we were out working because we had so little work to do. And even our boss was like, just fucking clock in. And we were salaried, but like they still wanted to monitor our hours and stuff. And he would be like, just clock in, do whatever you want. And I'd be sitting at home, dude. And like
just working remote and shit.
But no, literally not even having any work to do because they were just like continually, Pete's was just taking more and more over. So that job just like deteriorated, you know? And so, but that's what I'm saying, where that was a prime example of like, I was not getting anything out of it. So I bounced, No,
that's perfect. That's perfect.
Had I gotten a roasting gig with Stumptown, Tired Eyes might not exist. Because like I still had a lot of respect for their roasting program. They roast on a crazy 120-pound pro bat.
Fucking roaster is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I would have been living the dream, if I got to roast on that thing. So I guess I'm glad that job deteriorated, because it made me be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting you say that, though, because I mean, as somebody who as driven as you are, and as much as we've been talking, I feel like even if you would have got that, you would have been like, nah, I can do this on my own.
My ex-girlfriend would tell me that all the time. On days I'd be really frustrated about Tired Eyes, and I'd be like, I should have just fucking stuck with Stumptown and like waited my turn to get that roasting gig, And she was like, you wouldn't have stayed.
Dude, you don't strike me as the person. You look like you're creative. You take action. You're fucking doing it. And it's like,
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Like, I think she was totally right. And I think you're right. I think I would have lasted a year and a half until I would have found things like that I was more curious about doing or whatever, and I would have been like, maybe I'll go on to that. And again, I just realized at an early age, like, nothing's going to satisfy me as much as just doing it myself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're right. I probably wouldn't have lasted honestly, even as a roaster. Yeah.
Like, I think that's why I work so well with working here at Seven Seas, is that I don't have, like, Eric, he can roast, but he doesn't roast.
Yeah.
He handles everything else. All the coffee that's coming out of here is me, and it's basically what I've thought up and what it is. So it's like, again, having all the responsibility, but none of the financial risk.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, honestly, too, if our coffee started sucking and people didn't want to buy our bags, like, I know who's getting chopped. Yeah, I'm not stupid, obviously. But at the same time, that's why I have no, like, qualms with doing this, because it's like, dude, I'm getting to create and do these things and make those things come to life, and learning at the same time. Every day I'm learning, but I'm also educating our staff. Yeah. Hey, let's talk about characteristics. Let's be more specific about our palettes. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting.
Yeah. And that's something I'm trying to, among a million other things, trying to do at Tired Eyes right now, is like cultivate a culture where, like, there's no stupid question. Yeah. There's no such thing as a stupid question. In the way that, like, I just give the baristas eventually we're going to start to find our rhythm and decide, like, okay, we do this way because of this. Yep. Right now, though, I'm like, we're just a blank canvas. Let's play with it. Let's have fun. Let's start to, like, I let the baristas give their 2 cents a lot, because it's like they're contributing to it.
Yeah. They're making you successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so just being open to ideas is so important, and it cultivates learning when you're not afraid to say, like, what if we do this, and so that's just so important, is creating a space where there is freedom to think and question and push forward and push the boundaries a little bit, and so that's why our menu's so simple. Even it's because I'm like, we have so much to learn just from these few items right now. Let's just stick with that.
Nice.
And it also allows us, maybe this is just getting, like, too romantic about it, but in my eyes, it allows us to have better conversation with customers and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I'm such a advocate for, like, the experience we're creating in there. I'm like, our experience is about, like, collaboration and creativity with it, everyone in our circle and whatnot. Having a simple menu allows us to do that. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, what you're gonna get. It's fucking straightforward. There's nothing crazy or distracting in there. Like, let's just hang out. Let's talk about new ideas. Like, and this bleeds into, like, my relationship with the baristas. It's like, let's just talk. What did you do today to the coffee? How was it? Yeah. What do you think made it that way?
Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah. Just, like, again, just making that space to question everything, and not even in a bad way. If it was good, ask, why the hell was this so good?
Yeah, what did you do to get there?
How do we do that again?
Yeah.
So
to replicate it. Yeah. Keep it consistent.
And I think we just, we get too caught up in the noise.
Dude, for real, though. For real. You don't even need to explain it anymore. Yeah. I already know what you mean.
Yeah, dude, there's so much fucking noise out there.
Yep.
Especially in 2019, there's more noise than there's ever been. And I'm just like, how do we create a space where we can just focus on what's important to us, you know, and that's good conversation. That's pushing the boundaries. That's like just doing what we love, you know, and just not getting distracted with what others are doing, you know, just doing it our way.
Yeah.
So,
dude, that's fucking badass right there. Doing it our way.
yeah. I mean,
dude,
and
I love that.
And it's scary because like I can jump on Instagram right now and see, you know, fucking 100 other roasters that I look up to and be like, fuck, they're doing that. That's sick. Do we do that? You know, but it's like, fuck, you can take inspiration from it. But I think it's just so important to find your own path, you know?
Dude, you actually had raised I don't know if I want to say a point, but you mentioned a company that I've never heard of until this past Sunday. Onyx.
Yeah.
Never heard of them. It's not because I'm not interested in specialty coffee, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm interested in specialty coffee. But when I was talking to Asa's like, you've never heard of them? I was like, no.
Dude, Asa, yeah.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how do you not heard about them? And I told him. And
I can picture his face and everything.
Dude,
the disgust in his face. Like, yeah.
It was more like, what? You know, kind of thing. And I told him, I just said, dude, I just focus on the coffee. Just super simple. I mean, doing these competitions, I've been in 2 competitions now in the last couple months, and these are the first coffee competitions I've ever entered. Yeah. And through that, I've heard of new coffee shops, ones that have been at both competitions that I've been at, or other coffees from Kansas City or all these other companies. And I'm like, eventually, I'll probably run into them. Like, you know, that's how I see it. I'm focused on like, oh, I don't care where they're from, because if you start getting hopped up on like the name or whatever, it becomes like it gets in your head. It's like skating and other shit. It's like, oh my God, Riley Hawk is here, but I know I can shred, so I'm gonna let him intimidate me. No,
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's let's go up against the coffees. Yeah. And like let the coffees talk, and then I see other people doing what they're doing, and if I taste their coffee, and I'm like, yo, that's amazing. How did you do that? Or I want to figure that out immediately. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's so exciting experiencing other coffee companies and, you know, what they're bringing to the table. But it's easy to like experience something and be like, that was sick. How do we do that? Yeah. You know, but then you forget like, oh, we're doing okay as is. Like, I mean, it's always important to be questioning what you're doing to see if you could be better, I think. But it's just like, again, we just lose track of who we are. You know, and that's why even for Tired Eyes, I dream all the time of having multiple shops for Tired Eyes, but I know deep down I'm like, but it ain't anytime soon, because we have so much to learn where we're at. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, you know, just having the self-control to resist all the outside noise and influence it can have on you. You know, and just be like, no, but what about us? What are we doing? Yeah. You know, just focus on that. Yeah. And the rest falls into place.
Dude, it's interesting you say that, because we opened up our second shop.
The Orange County one?
Yeah, 2 months into opening this. So we opened here January 12th. In March, I was up there training our staff, 2 of which we hired 3 people, 2 of which are still there. And then we have a way bigger staff there now. But training them, doing pour overs, doing all these things, and then like being on our hands and knees to like really get that one up. And like, I was here when this started, but everything like was kind of halfway done. Okay. So I didn't have it from the very, very ground. Dude, I was at like the ground level with Orange County, like to the point where we had the grand opening at Orange County. I was like crying at the end of it, and like not like bawling, but I was just like, thank you all so much. And like tears. I'm like, I'm so happy right now. I like can't even contain myself.
That's fucking awesome.
Like our manager was crying and shit. And it was just like, if it wasn't like me and her were on the ground, and there was like, it was an old coffee shop, and we were like scraping old, hard, fat milk with like cockroaches like in the fucking milk.
What the
Bro, I'm not even kidding you. I'll never forget it. Like scraping it off the tile. And I'm like, DM, look at this. Look at this. And it was like a cockroach stuck in like dead cockroach in milk. And we're just like, like fucking, yo, we're spraying this shit down. And like, just like me and her, dude, 8-hour days cleaning. Yeah. On our hands and knees. And then to bring it to life where it's at now. And she's managing our shop. And it's like, I could not stop crying. But it was like, it was to the point where, would I ever do that again? Probably not.
Yeah.
But because Eric was like, we're going to do this, I was like, I'm fucking there, bro. Let's get this popping. Let's get it cracking, you know? And it was that DIY mentality, like, yo, we're going to get this out. We're going to make it work. And it's either I'll do half my time here and I'll do half my time in Orange County. And that's what it was.
Yeah.
Just
and
boom,
that's,
boom, boom.
And dude, there's just something so special about doing it yourself. Cause like, you know, it's like, yeah, in that moment, you're scraping that milk, you're fucking trying to hold back vomit when you see this fucking dead cockroach. And like, so in that moment, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But then you look back on it and you're like, no, we did that. We handled that.
Yep.
You know, like we got that done. I look back at photos of the shop, you know, when we first got it and then into the demolition and then to getting it like refurbished and like everything. And I'm like, we did that.
Yep.
You know, it was me and a ton of it was my friend Nick, you know. Thank fucking God he exists, because I would get into like these heavy projects and be like, oh shit, I don't know how to do this. Yeah. You know, because I'm just like, I'm stubborn and I just want to try and do it myself just to learn. But he definitely like rescued us. But anyways, I look back and I'm like, we built a fucking cafe.
Yeah.
You know, and there were days where, you know, there's those fucking 14-hour days that you're just like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. Why did I do this to myself?
Yeah.
You know?
I got you, bro.
Yeah. And then you look back and you're like, nah, we fucking did it.
Yeah, we killed this.
Yeah. Yo. You know, and there's just no sense when the shop's popping and there's fucking 15 people hanging out in there just talking and like all getting along, all with coffee in their hands, you know? And I'm just like, worth it.
Dude, it's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a dude. I'll repost stories and I always say that shit. It's a vibe because that's what it is.
Dude, it really is. Yo,
yeah,
it's with my, like, not to sound stupid, but like my Instagram, it's a Gucci thing. Like, I say it's a vibe. Like I was talking to Eric yesterday and I just ISSA vibe, bro. It's a vibe. Like, dude,
and that's what it is. And that's like when all the noise and bullshit and aspirations and, you know, all the stuff that we get caught up in the day to day, when all that falls to the side, the most important thing are those moments of like people hanging out and you're just like, I'm happy to be right here in this moment, you know, and that's a fucking vibe, dude, you know?
That right there, bro. I don't give a fuck about anything else except for what's going on in this shop and then the homies.
Yeah.
That's exactly how my train of thought goes. So when people ask me, they come up to me and they're like, yeah, who do you fuck with out of all the coffee shops out here? I'm like, yo, I shout, because I have homies at all shops.
Yeah.
But and then like, if you want me to narrow it down, I tell them your shop, I tell them Por Vida, and I tell them us. I'm like, yo, there's just something about each of our shops, and I didn't even have you guys in there until I went to your shop, and then when I was there, bro, I loved it.
Yeah.
The vibe aspect was so that you're fucking. Who's the tall guy? He was wearing the B-52 shirt.
Yeah, Drew.
Yeah, dude. Drew is so legit.
Okay, shout out both my baristas, Drew and Will. They're
Will's the homie.
All stars, dude. Yeah, and Drew's on another plane of existence. Like he brings the fucking vibe, like for sure, you know. And Will's been so crucial to just like having such a like fucking skilled barista to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it's a vibe,
dude.
Yeah.
What you have though is something I have not seen, and you bring that BMX aspect to it.
That's awesome.
But without being like a traditional cycle bar, or like something.
Dude, that shit drives me crazy.
You know what
man.
I mean? No,
yeah.
like,
dude. Yeah, you know, that's the biggest difference between like I fucking love bikes. I'm a BMX rider. I want to be on a bike all the time, but the biggest difference between BMX culture and the rest of bike culture is like, with the exception of like track bikes and, you know, fixed gears, like it's kind of similar. The biggest difference is like BMX riders don't really give a fuck. And like cyclists, sorry to my cyclist friends, not all of them, but a vast majority of cyclists are like, they're low key jocks.
Yeah.
You know, and so like, and I treat the shop like the BMX shop I grew up going to, you know, where you walk in and like you shoot the shit and like, yeah, you get what you need to get, but most importantly, you're hanging the fuck out for a minute.
Yeah, and people know your name, bro.
Yeah. And
that's a
like,
big deal.
Yeah, and that's like, it just, that's why there's no outlets. The tables are small, you know, that's why it's an open space, is like, I would love to provide a space where people could study, come and get their work done, all that. But more importantly, I want people to hang out. you know, and dude, I'm telling you, when people are in there and it's a full house, you know, people are coming through all day, and I see people connect because they're sitting at a table real close to one another, not on their laptops or whatever, and they're just drinking their coffee, and I see people start to talk, and like I've never felt anything like that. It's so cool.
That's
you know?
fucking rad.
Yeah, and it just reminds me of bike shops or being at the skate park shooting the shit, you know, where nothing else in the world matters. You're just chilling.
Yep.
And as much as I want us to give a shit about the coffee and like have high standards for that stuff, I want the shop experience to be just open and easygoing, you know?
Well, dude, on that point alone, I mean, there's 2 points to that right there. One person could have a shitty experience and they're going to tell like twice the amount of people as a person who had an amazing experience, and they're going to kind of be like, oh, I'm going to try to keep it low key because I want to go back and have that experience on my own. But they might tell half that amount of the bad experience. So that's number one. And then number two is based on that right there, Manny from Don't Forget Donuts, who's been on the show, and I told him, I was like, bro, I went to this. He's like, whoa, what's that shop that you went to the other day? I was like, yo, that's Tired Eyes. I was like, this dude Tyler, he has a spot in downtown. It's right here. We're super fucking close. And he ended up going. And then on his Instagram, he's blowing it up.
Yeah.
It's like
he was blasting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, shout out him.
Dude.
I didn't get to try the donuts, but my barista said they were dank. Like that's apparently how good
donut.
Fuck yeah. That's apparently how good they are, because I heard they got dropped off and I was like off doing errands, and I came back and they had been eaten. So I was like,
no, they're fire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a vegan, but I fuck with a lot of vegan food. Just because, dude, in the area that we're in, there's so much good vegan food.
Yeah, it's packed.
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
You throw Manny in the mix, and he has these vegan donuts. Dude, we had a lady come in the other day. She was just like, no, I want all the milk, all the eggs, all this stuff. I'm like, look, lady. I didn't say lady, but I was like, these donuts are really amazing. You should really just try that. I was like, I'm not a vegan, but I eat these on the regs. Yeah. And it's just like flavor. And even, not to do a plug for Manny, but like his apple filled donuts.
Yeah. Fire.
His fucking, dude, they're so intricate. The way he cuts every apple. So when you bite into it, it's just like perfectly like squared little pieces of apples.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what the fuck, bro? How do you do that? Like, damn, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, that's sick. No, yeah, and that's like, that's fucking awesome. And shameless plug right now, we're a vegan shop.
Dude, you have I was telling, I talk about you all the time, honestly. I'm a little embarrassed.
I appreciate
to say it, but I do. I'm like, dude, it came up the other day. We were talking about an event that we're about to start doing, but because of the area that we're in downtown especially, there's so many vegan people that it's almost worth it to, like, most people who can drink whole milk, they're like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, you give me oat milk, it's fine.
Yeah.
But there's so many vegan people now that it's like doing alternative milks is almost more appropriate in the area that we're in.
Oh, dude, 100%.
So we were like, yo, we're fighting this whole milk, this whole chocolate milk versus this whole like oat milk thing, and we're trying to figure it out. And then we're like, all right, let's just go oat. Yeah. And then I brought you guys up. I was like, dude, I think it'll fucking work because Tyler does only almond and fucking oat at his shop. And I was like, I've not read one Yelp complaint that complained about that.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. I was willing to take some hits for a while with it before I ever budged on it. As in, I was going into this thinking like, we're gonna get shit on. Yeah. You know, and I was like, I'll shoulder that responsibility to, explain to people why we do it. You know, we have to explain it every now and then, but like, people don't give a fuck. We don't even say anything. You know, people are like, oh, can I get a cappuccino? And we make it with oat milk. And we literally have more people coming to us saying, that was really good. That was really creamy. What milk did you use? Yeah. You know? And then we tell them, we have more of those experiences than we do people saying like, oat milk.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And to that point, if it were not for oat milk, we wouldn't be a vegan shop. Almond milk is fucking whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever.
You know, you can make it taste good, but it takes so much more work. And like oat milk, even if you can make almond milk taste good consistently, as in you're a skilled barista, like people are allergic to nuts, like deathly allergic.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
And also like, I'd get it if you don't like the taste of almond milk in your coffee.
Yeah, because sometimes, and for me personally, I can't fuck with almond. If I'm going to use a milk, it's going to be oat or macadamia. Yeah. Or milkadamia or whatever. But for me, almond milk, dude, it completely destroys the taste of the coffee.
Dude, and I'll be honest, I've drank black coffee for the last, however many years. I rarely have a milk drink. If I do, it's an oat milk cappuccino. The other day, I was like, I'm going to have an almond milk iced latte, because I was like, that's briefly before I started drinking black coffee, that's what I would drink. And I was like, I haven't had an almond milk iced latte in a minute. I'm going to taste one. And I had it and I was like, fuck, this is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Like, not even going to lie.
Yeah.
And to the point where even now, since that experience, that was a few weeks ago, people come in and are like, can I get an almond milk, whatever? And I'm like, actually, we have oat milk. Have you tried it with oat milk?
Yeah.
Because I have less and less hope for almond milk.
Bro, have you been having the problem that other shops are having right now with steaming the almond?
As in, it steams fucking weird?
Or it won't steam at all? Like, it fucking won't even, like...
Well, I thought recently, maybe this is the problem. Recently, each time I've steamed almond milk, I'm like, why does it look like I just sprayed it with a ton of water?
Yeah.
As in, like, this... You know how, like, when you purge a steam one and the water shoots out?
Yeah.
It looks like that's what was happening the whole time I was steaming it, because it looks like... Yeah, it doesn't texturize.
It doesn't texturize at all, bro.
Yeah, and that's... Okay, that makes me feel better, because I was attributing it to the fact that we do, like, one almond milk drink a day.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
We've been having a huge problem with it, to the point where our manager here emailed our supplier, was like,
whoa,
hey,
okay.
like,
Yeah.
what's been going on? But
Yeah.
the same thing, it's to your point, is that we're like, yo, do the oat. Like,
Dude,
the oat's
and here's the
super
thing
good.
about oat. You have to be allergic to oats to not be able to have it, because there's no other allergens. There's no gluten, there's no soy, there's no dairy, no nuts. Like,
Yep.
I had one customer come in once that was like, oh yeah, you have almond milk. I'm allergic to that. What else do you have? And I was like, oat milk. And she was like, oh, I'm allergic to oats. And I was like, fuck. Like, what are the chances? But that was one customer.
But at the same time, you are a specialty coffee shop, so it's like, oh, you're gonna drink the coffee black then, and it's really good black.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that's oat milk though, I think is just like it bridges the gap.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And like, yeah, dude, we get all kinds of customers that obviously I don't know whether or not they're vegan, but I'm like, pretty sure you're not vegan, but you're coming in here every day and getting that oat milk cappuccino.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, no, they're dude.
Like,
well, and it works too with the oat milk. People are starting to use like, okay, here's the oat milk profile.
Yeah,
you're gonna arrange the coffee to make it taste better with that milk.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of the evolution that I've seen with it too. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Where are you roasting now?
So Elliot and a couple other people are opening a roasting like
collective.
Yeah,
I've heard about this.
Yeah,
yes.
It was supposed to be in Carlsbad. It's now, they got a new space and it's in San Marcos now. So up in North County. It's lit.
It's lit.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a bitch to drive up there. You know, like I would love if I could just drive 10 or 15 minutes away to our own place, but dude, they're like pimping that space out. Like,
well, dude, I've seen you. The reason I ask is because I saw you on Instagram and you were like having like a question, like you were talking about like to your followers or whatever audience, and it's like, you know, ask me questions about roasting and this, that, and this, and I'm like, looking, like, where the fuck is that fool at? Like,
it's so that was the last night in the Carlsbad space. Now it's in I don't think I've posted it much on the Tired Eyes account. I've posted it on my personal, but now it's in San Marcos, and it's just like, it's 3 times the size of what it was. They've got a 12 kilo San Franciscan, a 22 kilo Probat from like the 60s. And they're going to get a 35 kilo Loring. So like,
okay. Whoa. Can we just hold on real quick. The 35 kilo Loring.
Yeah.
Again, referencing my conversation with fucking Asa this past Sunday.
Yeah.
I had no idea how many companies in San Diego specifically are using a 35 kilo Loring.
Yeah. West Bean,
Lofty.
Bird Rock. Yeah. Lofty. Dark Horse. James just got a Loring.
Yeah, heard that too.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Lorings. You know,
I don't know a damn thing about Lorings.
Yeah.
But it trips me out because it's mainly computer, and it's like for me, I'm like, I need the manual. Like,
yeah, it's it's basically air, convection roasting. It's basically air, like the beans are barely like touching a surface when they're in there.
Well, they're in like a paddle, and it's like
yeah, and it's just throwing them around
Yeah.
in there, which obviously happens in a drum roaster, but the paddles are basically keeping them afloat as hot air passes through, so yeah, so it's basically just convection roasting, which I don't know enough about. I've had great coffee off of loorings, and I've had really mediocre coffee off of loorings, but that's any roaster.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
and then you can go like it's argument could be like, well, your personal touch, right? Regardless if it's your fucking a Loring or a Probat or whatever. But yeah, fuck it.
No, yeah.
I mean, we could go back and forth about that all day. Sorry,
you're good. Yeah, so the Loring or the roasting co-ops in San Marcos, I'm gonna plug that real quick because it's epic. So yeah, it's called California Roasting Collective, and it's going to be like a one-stop shop for, I shouldn't say shop, but a all-in-one service where you can store your green there, you can roast all your coffee there. They're going to have like every fucking like just gadget you could imagine in terms of like production. Like they already have like a big commercial like bag sealer where you just put the bags on a conveyor belt, and the bags go through and it seals the top of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, they have like a weighing machine, so you can enter in how much you need 5 pounds for a wholesale order. You put 5 pounds in and it'll just dispense 5 pounds
Of your roasted coffee.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like there's a big hopper on top, and so you're like, oh, our espresso blend, this wholesale account ordered 20 pounds of it. And then
do you rent that specific silo?
I don't know how he's breaking all that down yet. But there's a monthly membership, and then it's per hour on the roasting on each machine. It's great. If you don't want the startup costs of getting your own space, and you just need to get the ball rolling, it's really good for that. And honestly, I mean, you could there's gonna be a 35 kilo Loring there. You could roast there for the rest of your career if you need to. Yeah. Like there's an espresso machine. There's a small sample roaster. There's a 2 kilo Ambex. There's a cupping lab. There's
Jesus
a couch.
Christ. There's a couch.
Yeah, there's everything you could ever want as a coffee company. They're putting there. So it's going to be great for San Diego because there's so much interest in roasting in San Diego.
There really is.
And so California Roasting Collective. Shout out Elliot and the squad there because they're doing something really cool.
Sick.
And they're like, everything is like so like souped up, like full size computer screens, so you see crops are big as fuck. You know, like all the roasters are just like, the gas is like mega regulated, so your gas settings are like solid as fuck. Like it's clean. It's just like everything's there for you.
That's so crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I just keep hearing about this space. I gotta see it.
Yeah, so that's where I'm roasting. And like I said, it's kind of annoying to like drive up there and like have to like set aside that mental and physical energy to be like, okay, today's roast day. We gotta sit in traffic after we close the shop, go up, roast, all that. But also like it's the reason I opened Tired Eyes.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when I was on the 1 kilo in the shed, I was like, I got to do one or the other. I got to go get a bigger roaster and just get a small warehouse space and go in on like wholesale, or I got to figure out a way to open a cafe. Mm-hmm. And what I really wanted to do was open a cafe.
Yeah.
So then Elliot was like, well, eventually you can rent time on this, when I was roasting for him. He was like, eventually you can just rent time on this roaster because we're going to open a collective. And I was like, well, now that you said that, heads up, I'm probably going to leave. I'm probably going to go open my own shop, because that just opened the doors for me, know, so.
Nice.
But yeah.
So it was kind of like bittersweet because he's like, oh, I know he's going to leave, but he's also like, I have a customer now that's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, I know those people right there. That's
okay.
Like, that's tight.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was great for him. He's making money off me.
Dude.
And I don't even mean that in a malicious way. Like,
no, yeah.
It was great for him and it was great for me because I learned a ton when I was with him, and like, I feel like we have a really good relationship now where I can be like, he's better than me in all aspects in terms of coffee, but I can hit him with big questions you know, and no, I'm not like bugging him or anything because we just have a good relationship, and I can be like, this is happening. What the fuck do I do about it? You know?
So it's still like kind of like the mentor aspect is still there then.
Yeah, low
That's
key.
badass.
And I like, you know, I don't know if he's going to listen to this or not, but like low key, I'm like, I don't want to take up his time. I choose wisely, like what questions I ask him because I know he's busy.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I love any chance I can get to pick Elliot's brain. And, you know, anyone I look up to, you know, I mean, and I've, you know, I mean, back to skating and BMX, it's a good thing I've been around so many like pros in my life because I know like the times where it's like you're chilling, you can slip in a question of like, hey, what do I do about this? You know?
You've kind of proved yourself a little bit. So you're like, hey, you can ask me a question.
100, dude, you're not just that hungry kid that's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I learned how to like pace it, you know, because I've grown up riding around these people, you know, and like, and
they've seen you come up a little bit. They've seen you pull some gnarly shit. And they're like, no, this kid knows what he's talking about. Yeah,
exactly. Like, yeah. So, and that's like, I feel really grateful that I have that like self-control to be like, I look up to this person. If I had the opportunity, I would pick their brain all fucking day, but I'm going to wait till the timing's right, you know? And so like, I think that's why Elliot and I have a good relationship is he saw first and foremost, I was willing to work and just put my head down and do the fucking job. And second, he saw like, I was hungry to learn, you know? So he's just someone I can pick his brain and he just knows more than me.
Yeah. So fucking A, man. I mean, that goes back to what we were talking about early in the conversations, the mentor aspect. It's so important. Same thing with the guy who I learned from, you know, I don't want to say any other names, but I know there's head roasters who didn't think too highly of him. Mm-hmm. But for me, I had a head roaster and I had the owner. Okay. And then it was able to I was able to get the scientific aspect and I was able to get the fucking, I just go off a feel aspect. Yeah. And so to have both and to really appreciate both was something that where I learned how to choose my words wisely, especially with the dude who owned the shop. I was just like, hey, how did you get to this? And it would just be like, sometimes just be like, this is how I learned how to roast. This is what I did. Dude, and that's it.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it goes, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that because even Elliot, who's very like, you know, he's very logical, you know, and like even sometimes he would be like, just fucking try this. Yeah. You know, I'd be like, Elliot, this just happened to you. And be like, oh, try something else. You know, like,
it's like, bro, what the fuck you mean try something else?
Yeah, legit. And because I was scared as the employee of like, fuck, man, I'm roasting your coffee. But he's also still, even as intelligent as he is, he was still open to like, we don't know. Let's find out.
Well, the only way you're going to know is if you try, right?
Exactly.
And that's with skating and BMX, bro.
Yep. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, you know, but like you got to give it a fucking shot, you know.
You got to shoot your shot, bro.
Yeah, legit. And that's anyone who is going to get into this stuff, you have to be just willing to shoot your shot. You're going to fuck up a lot, but you're going to start hitting your mark eventually, and that's when it gets fun.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to end it right there. Shoot your shot. Fucking just, dude. Send it.
Yeah.
Dude, tell the people where they can find you, please.
You can find us at 803 F Street in downtown San Diego. Again, that's 803 F Street. You can find our coffee at tiredeyescoffee.com. Follow us on Instagram at tiredeyescoffee. Additionally, today I just made public a secondary Instagram called Coffee Under Pressure. That is kind of my personal journey as the owner of Tired Eyes. Okay. Because there's so much shit I want to share, but I'm like, I can't blast this on Tired Eyes. Not because it's not good information, but like our feed would just be fucking cluttered with all, you know, there's like Tired Eyes, the brand, but then there's the behind the scenes stuff that I kind of just want to share that's like a little more nerdy. Okay. Or whatever. So that's Coffee Under Pressure.
All one word?
Yeah. All one word. No underscores, nothing like that. Yeah. It's 803 F Street.
803 F Street.
Yeah.
Go and see my man Tyler. Yo, for
also,
everybody.
Come here and see Kano here at 7 Seas. Yeah. Mandatory.
Yes, please. But you were the star of the show, sir. So go see Tired Eyes. Thank you. Tyler, this will not be the last time you're on the show.
Fuck yeah. Happy to hear it. Dude, thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Peace. Yes, thank you so much, Tyler. That was another great episode, man. The way we ended that. Straight G's, like I said in the beginning, yo. So, get down to Tired Eyes Coffee. Go see my man. Try his coffee. He's working. He's hustling. Man, yes. Just yes. And thank you to all of you listeners. I appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of my heart. Caffeine and Green would not keep going if it wasn't for y'all. So spread the word. Caffeine and Green is what it is. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and tune in next time, yo. Peace.